Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Guys, how are we doing?
Good. Won't be long now. I would like to congratulate LeBron James on winning his 4th championship because tonight my Clippers will go down in humiliating flames to the Nuggets, and LeBron will have a cakewalk to his 4th title against Nuggets and winner of
It's a cakewalk in the West now.
Boston.
All for 17 years.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a cakewalk in the East.
Yeah.
Now he goes to the West. He's about to win. Now you got another excuse to try to demean the man. But I ain't gonna let you do it. I ain't gonna let you do it.
I'm just putting it in perspective.
Ain't no perspective.
It's okay.
It ain't no perspective.
Parade tomorrow in downtown Los Angeles.
Led by whom? Interesting. Okay, we'll get to LeBron. We will get to Kawhi. But, guys, the NFL is back, and Week 1 officially in the books today, thanks to so many stars like Tom Brady. But, it didn't start the way he wanted it to. Brady's 2 interceptions in his Bucs debut caught a lot of people off guard, including his own coach. When talking about the future Hall of Famer's performance, Brady Arians said, quote, "He looked like Tom Brady in practice all the time, so it's kind of unusual to see that in a ball game because they didn't do things that we didn't get ready for." In addition to the picks, Brady often found himself and his new receivers on different pages during Sunday's 34-23 loss to the Saints. Shannon, inbounds or out of bounds for Arians to criticize Brady?
Yeah, he's inbounds. Yeah. Did he play well? No.
My turn?
No, it's not. No, it's not. He did not play well, Skip. See, the thing is with you, it's okay to criticize everybody else. But Tom Brady knew what he was signing up for. He know BA is unfiltered. And the question was, and I had early on, I said, okay, you saw how critical he was to Jameis. What happens when he publicly criticized Tom Brady? Oh, he never do that to Tom Brady. I said, okay, y'all don't know BA then.
I didn't say that, but go ahead.
Okay, I said, okay. Oh, you didn't, he don't, that's Tom Brady. That's the GOAT. He's beyond reproach, is what you think. BA said, oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. BA put him on blast because people believe Tom Brady doesn't make a mistake. That anytime the ball is intercepted, it's the receiver's fault. Anytime a mistake is made on the offensive side of the football, it's the receiver's fault. BA say, no, it wasn't. Mike Evans read it right. Tom read it wrong. He should not have gone over there. You can't be late and inside with the throw on Jack Rabbit. Anytime in a situation you move teams, change head coaches, Skip, you need to get an understanding. What's to be expected from you, what you expect from them. I remember when I went to Baltimore after 10 years in Denver, the thing that I can honestly say is Brian Billick pulled me aside and he asked me, he said, well, Shannon, how do you like to be coached? I said, Brian, I don't have a problem with you coaching me in front of the team. I don't have a problem with you coaching me hard. You just can't curse me. He said, okay, fine, no problem. He coached me. He coached me hard. I got no problem with that. But Skip, we laid the groundworks before we got to a situation. If Tom was going to have a problem with the way BA was coaching, and Tom has been around enough, he's been in the circles with enough quarterbacks that's been under his tutelage to know how he is. So if that was going to be a problem, that should have been something that he voiced with BA, Brady Arians, the head coach of I keep calling him BA. That's something that he should have voiced prior to his arrival, Skip. So therefore, there's no confusion. There's no, hold on, bro, I thought we was going to do it like this, and you handle it like that. So for me, Skip, Brady Arians, BA, is handling it the way he's always handled it.
Yep.
Ever since he's been a head coach, quarterbacks love playing in his system, but he's brutally honest. And nobody had a problem, nobody questioned when he was calling out Jameis left and right last year for throwing those picks and those pick sixes. Nobody. Now all of a sudden, Tom Brady is beyond reproach. Tom Brady made mistakes. Brady Arians pointed it out. No problem whatsoever, unless they had a conversation before and BA said he wouldn't do this publicly. Other than that, I got no problem with this.
I have a huge problem with this. This is so outrageously out of bounds. This is so insulting to the GOAT, Tom Brady, and so offensive to me as a supporter of Tom Brady, because there's a huge difference between being right honest and wrong honest. If Tom Brady had been pathetic, if he had stunk it up from start to finish on Sunday, then you could say, well, it's just B.A. being B.A. He's unfiltered. Baloney. And by the way, who is this man to question that man? Okay, after one game. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Who did you pick to win the NFC? Help me out. Help me out.
Whoa,
no, seriously, who did you pick?
I picked the Saints.
This is outrageous. You picked the Saints.
Yes.
And I told you as soon as the schedules came out, this is outrageous. They threw Tom Brady to the Lions in game one at New Orleans.
He's the GOAT.
Will Tom Brady face a better secondary than the one he faced on Sunday? Help me out. Look down the schedule. If you can show me one, I'll take it. Hall of Fame. Well, show me one. Show me one on this schedule that's a better secondary. Show me an overall better defense on this schedule, because you won't be able to find one.
What about
it was at New Orleans, and there were no preseason games. That's why this offends me from Bruce Arians. You got to have some perspective. He had the audacity to say yesterday, he looked like Tom Brady in practice all the time. So it's kind of unusual to see that in a ball game, because they didn't do anything that we didn't expect. What are you talking about? So you're putting all the blame on him, like, don't look at me. I told him what was going to happen defensively, and he couldn't figure it out. He made one mistake the whole day. He made one, and Bruce Arians, to his credit, ate crow yesterday about the one that I called him out on yesterday. I said the throw to Mike Evans was not Tom Brady's fault. It's quarters. You could just see it. It's not cover two, it's quarters. Yeah. And he backed off yesterday and said, no doubt that was actually Mike Evans. He called out the GOAT after the game and wrongly accused him of blowing the second throw. What are you talking? If you can find another terrible throw in the game other than the one I told you, it's Jackrabbit, it's a bad idea, and Bruce Arians continued to harp on it yesterday, just let it go. Give the man some tiny break, because, by the way, he played really well except for the one mistake. This from Pro Football Focus yesterday afternoon. Tom Brady did not play as poorly as some have made it out to be. Some across the table said he was pathetic in the game.
That's not what I said.
Well, you did. That's what you told me.
I said he wasn't good.
Okay. Brady finished the day with a whopping 6 big-time throws, which led the whole league. It tied for first with Aaron Rodgers. Well, Aaron Rodgers had a sensational game at Minnesota.
He did.
So, wait, 6 big-time throws. These are throws in which you say, you grade them on the highest scale. They're 20-plus yard throws, and he had 6 in one game. And by the way, this goes on to say, a lot of people said after the 2019 season that Brady just can't hit those special throws anymore at his age. But he proved them all wrong in week 1, and showed it was largely due last year to the poor supporting cast in New England. How many times have I said this on the show? In 2019, Brady never had more than 3 big-time throws in a game, and he didn't record more than 1 after the first 3 weeks of the year. So he goes the last 13 games and doesn't have more than 1 big-time throw in a game. He had 6 at New Orleans against that secondary and that defense with no real game action, no battle testing of his new receivers. Everything's new. All the terminology is new. He admitted before the game.
But you didn't factor that in before.
What are you talking about? I did too.
No,
I said that the Saints would win the game.
No, I'm saying, Skip, it's a new system. It's new terminology. It's new. He's the GOAT. You never factored those things in until he lost, and he didn't look particularly well. So even if it was quarters, why would you throw that ball down there? Do you see that safety on the hash?
He's 6 feet 5 inches tall, and he is a Pro Bowl receiver. He's one of 2 Pro Bowlers on the outside, and he is the go-to guy. Because when in doubt, you throw it up high to 6 foot 5 inch Mike Evans. He saw it. He read it. Brady just said, I'm going to go up high to 6 foot 5, and I got a shot.
Yeah. Do you see the safety sitting on the hash?
I saw it. I saw quarters, and I saw if he doesn't break off he stopped. He cold stopped, and it makes Brady look foolish. and he wasn't foolish. And Bruce Arians said after the game that no doubt it was Mike Evans' fault for not continuing the route. No doubt is the quote. Okay.
Skip. First of all, any quarterback that would throw that ball down the middle of the field, when that safety is sitting on the hash, I'm going to come back and have a conversation with you.
Well, it appears that he backed completely off his post-game criticism.
Skip, I don't care what anybody says. If that safety is sitting on the hash, they thought it was going to be covered too. The safeties did not split. Now, B.A. can't tell me, Shannon Sharpe, how to run a route against cover two because I played that position.
I think he just did.
Tom Brady can't tell me how to run a route.
Both of them just did, and I did yesterday.
Okay.
And by the way, yesterday...
You're not getting down the hole on quarters.
Yesterday, I showed you all the throws he made, and you still wouldn't back off. So I'm going to show you again 6 big-time throws in Sunday's game. This actually happened. This is on videotape, evidence that Tom Brady made 6 special throws, 6 big-time throws. If we could see them, please. These happened on Sunday. These were actual throws. This is to Godwin. You down the chimney. You can't throw it better than that. And then here we go. This is the same throw to Godwin on the deep out. That's a little bit of arm strength and a lot of touch. And here's a deep ball to Mike Evans that's pass interference. It's right on the button. It's dropping a dime, and he can't get his right hand up because it's being held. And it's pass interference, and that will work. And here we go again. Another one to Mike. Is it Mike Evans? No, it's to little. It's to Scotty Miller. No, it's to Mike Evans. Mike Evans. This is Mike Evans again. Another one. He's grabbed and pulled, and it's another pass interference. It's a huge game. And here we go again. That's another very special throw to Chris Godwin.
So what quarterback couldn't make that throw?
Well, I think a whole lot of them could.
Really?
I watched one last night, Daniel Jones. I don't think he could make that throw, but that's just me. And then here we go again. Another one to, oh, wait, it's little Scotty Miller. Hits him right in the hands. It's pass interference. Another big game. Do those count? I think they count. Yeah.
Nice double move, yeah.
Okay, and you get held. Your left arm gets held down.
But if you look at it, if you look at what they're doing, they're double moving because they don't believe Tom has the arm strength.
Scotty Miller again. I told you, I first guessed it before the year started. I said he's going to be a threat and a weapon, and he gets behind the slot corner, and here we go with another big-time throw. I don't know. I just showed you 6. They're right on the button with some depth, you know. It's not exactly dinking and dunking.
If you don't mind me asking, so if I'm in a basketball game, you score 50 and lose, I score 50 and win, do we have the equivalent? Because you see what they did there? Aaron Rodgers had 6 big-time throws and they won. And to make Tom Brady look good, they said, well, he had 6 big-time throws. But they caught an L. What about that pick 6?
Was Aaron Rodgers playing against your pick to win the NFC? Was he?
Skip, that's not important. Skip.
Oh, not important? How about degree of difficulty?
The GOATs don't have degree of difficulty. He's the GOAT. Compared to you, that's what you always do with LeBron James. He's the GOAT.
Tom Brady is 43.
Oh, now he's
LeBron's
43.
Only 30.
Now he's
34?
43. No. I'm not going to let you move it this time. Is Tom Brady the GOAT? Did you not say Tom Brady's the GOAT?
Sure
is he the GOAT?
You know it.
Okay, then.
Well, you've said it.
Okay, then.
You have said it.
If he's the GOAT, stop making these excuses.
What happened to LeBron in his first year with the Lakers? Do we want to see the blooper tape?
Yep.
Do we want to see it?
Yep.
Was that a blooper tape I just showed you in game number 1 against the best team in the NFC on the road?
But look
with no prep.
I could have had them to pull the tapes with him throwing the ball out of bounds, throwing the ball out of the end zone, just skipping the ball. I could have done that. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about BA. And against quarters coverage, if the safety does not knock Mike Evans would have missed 4 weeks if they throw that ball and he try to catch it with that safety sitting on the hash.
Tom Brady, according to Pro Football Focus, had the 6th best passing grade of Week 1.
If you don't mind me asking,
good?
Who had the best one?
Well, what does it matter?
No.
But you said it was pathetic.
Hold on.
You said it was pathetic.
Hold on.
Wait, they say it's the 6th best.
I just want you to make sure.
Somebody's really wrong here.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Is this the same Pro Football Focus that said Aaron Rodgers was done and he's coming off in one of his worst years? Is that the same Pro Football Focus?
We are going to do a whole topic about that later.
Yes or no? Okay.
And I'm sure they're still standing right by what they said because he's only played 1 game.
Hold on. How many has Tom Brady played?
Yep, that's the whole point because he will get nothing but better. And Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 years has gotten nothing but worse.
So let me ask you a question. Why would Tom Brady get so much better while Aaron Rodgers gets so much worse?
GOAT?
Well, if he was the GOAT...
Now he's got to overcome his head coach, too.
No.
So out of bounds.
I just want to know, Skip.
You know, here's what I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know if Bruce Arians is shrewd enough of an operator to think, you know, my team wasn't really ready to play, and it showed because we had 9 penalties for 103 yards, and we muffed and botched that little pooch kickoff where we just let it sit on the carpet until the Saints recovered it. Maybe we just didn't look ready to play because it was coaching, and maybe he said, I've got to take the onus and the focus off me and put it on the GOAT.
No, Skip.
Is that a way to establish rapport with a guy who had 6 big-time throws?
Yeah.
Couldn't Bruce Arians have just said one sentence up front? You know, he made a bunch of really good throws, but we got nothing. I was surprised at how bad he played.
So you want Bruce Arians to change who he is to accommodate Tom Brady?
I want him to be right honest instead of wrong honest, because there's a huge difference between that. He's being wrong honest.
Might be wrong.
He's criticizing for the wrong reasons because it wasn't there. He made one horrible choice, and he won't let it go. He keeps breaking it down. If you're throwing an out route, you throw it low inside, blah, blah, blah. This was yesterday.
Did it happen?
This was the day after.
Did it happen?
It's almost like he wants to refocus the world on the one bad throw that Tom Brady made.
Did Tom Brady throw that ball low and inside?
It was a terrible idea. The first part was it was a bad idea to start with, because who have you raved about for years on the show? Jack Rabbit. Janoris Jenkins. What did he used to do to Dez Bryant? He locked him up. He put the cuffs on him, right?
Come on,
and Dez is trying to play with cuffs on him. He can't catch it, and he can't get open. Because it's Janoris Jenkins, a second-round pick who has made, what's he made, 3 Pro Bowls?
I think so.
He is really good. And so is Marshawn Lattimore. The 2 corners for sure are the best they
won't put.
Okay, and if you throw it to a Kluwer over there, he's the all-time Kluwer to me. He sniffs, and if he sniffs a little bit of blood, he is going to break like a madman on the football, and he took it to the house.
Most corners, they pattern read and they play downhill. So in other words, Jack Rabbit, as you said, he's cluing, he's playing off. He looks at his alignment. Now, he's only going to run. He's not running a go from there.
Nope.
He's only going to run 2 routes.
Remember, this is like the 4th-string receiver who's in the game for reasons I don't know. Justin Watson. He's an Ivy Leaguer from Penn.
Yes.
And I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's just down the depth chart.
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to run 2 routes. He's running an out or he's running a crossing route. Once he takes 1 step up the field, Jack Rabbit knows what's coming. I bet you Jack Rabbit maybe took 1. He probably didn't even get in the back pedal.
He looked like he was primary on the play. He did. Okay, it's terrible. It's as Bruce Arians did say correctly, it's just a bad idea to start with. Don't do that.
You look at the formation, you see what's in the formation, he can only run a speed out or he can run a crossing route. Well, he took 1 step up the field, so it's not the over route. Hell, here comes the out route. I'm jumping. I'm gone.
Can we give this man a tiny break because he's playing his first game in battle?
Goats don't get breaks.
With all new receivers and all new terminology in his ear from Byron Leftwich? All new terminology. No breaks. And yet, if you take away the 1 mistake, he didn't have a good game. He actually had a great game.
No, he didn't.
6 big-time throws.
Hold on. Skip.
3 more than in any game last year.
How many points did they get? How many points did they have?
Well, they're up against the team you picked to go to the Super Bowl.
But it doesn't matter.
That's what's going to happen.
Hold on. Against the team that you picked to go to the Super Bowl. Okay, then. So what's the problem?
It's 1 game, and guess what? There are 15 more, and I told you their schedule would open the world up for Tom Brady to get nothing but better, starting with Carolina this Sunday.
Skip, you make it seem as if the other teams aren't going to get better. Like they're in week 10 while Tom Brady is in week 1. So Tom and Tampa are the only player and team that's going to get better moving forward. Is that what you're saying?
You have said he's noodle-armed and he's washed up, and he shouldn't be playing anymore at 43. I did not see that on Sunday. I didn't remotely see it.
I'm Skip. But you also do realize this is the healthiest he's going to be. This is the freshest he's going to be.
Could be.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to see in week 9, week 10, are those 6 big-time throws.
Yep. And by the way, his left tackle graded 129th of offensive linemen in the league on Sunday.
Yeah.
he graded, he was 129th out of all of them. Donovan Smith had a bad game. Bruce Arians ripped him too.
Right.
I don't know what happened. He lost his technique. He reverted.
Yeah.
That was a problem because New Orleans will come after you.
But Skip,
and they did.
But the offensive line was a problem. Did nobody say anything about Donovan Smith? Because guess who Jameis had for the last 3 years? Donovan Smith. Jameis had those same guys, and nobody mentioned the offensive line. It was all Jameis. Now you want to bring up Donovan Smith. Now you want to bring up Bruce Arians, and it's only one game. You never did that for Jameis.
Are you saying Jameis is better than Tom Brady?
No, hey, I couldn't tell. He looked like Jameis on Sunday.
Did he?
He looked like Jameis on Sunday, throwing picks. What's the difference? You make it seem like Jameis every game. Jameis didn't have a good. Jameis threw for 5,000 yards. So he had to have done something good.
Yeah, I like Jameis a lot. I thought he had a pretty good year, but you can't turn it over 35
Well,
times.
you can't turn it over twice in a game.
Okay, how many cases do you want to bet that he won't have 35 turnovers?
I bet you they're not winning that division.
Oh, okay. Well, we got that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with it, too.
Okay, here we go.
And now you up there, baby. You don't talk to Tom like that. It's one game. Just no. Don't let it go, B.A., because he didn't let it go with Jameis, and you didn't come to Jameis' defense like that. You didn't cape up for Jameis.
I want you to think about this. Bruce Arians in the postseason as a head coach is 1-2. Tom Brady has won 6 of 9 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but you didn't say, hold on, you didn't say that. You didn't mention anything about his playoff record when Tom Brady cowtailed it down to Tampa. You talk about he's going to love it. He's in an offensive-minded system. And now you doing everything because he reamed Tom Brady's out. You doing everything you possibly can to demean and undermine Bruce Arians. And I won't go for it.
Oh, you won't go for it?
I ain't going for it.
Well, I'm not going for a coach who's even harder on Tom Brady than Belichick ever thought about being, because Belichick never went public with his criticism. It was always in film meetings and in practice.
Okay. So Coach Belichick wouldn't go public with his criticism, but you damn sure wanted him to go public in his praise. Why won't he praise Tom? Why won't he say Tom did something good? You didn't have that energy then. Okay.
Well, I didn't know Bruce Arians was going to be even more of a problem for Tom Brady than Bill Belichick.
Now he a problem.
He just went from the frying pan into the Tampa fire.
Hold on,
thanks to a guy who couldn't carry Belichick.
Oh, no. I'm not going to let you do that. So, now Coach Belichick's a good coach because Bruce Arians reamed him. Now you got it. So, in other words, unless you handle Tom Brady with kid gloves, white kid gloves.
I don't care about kid gloves. You could rip the interception if you want to, but you got to point out that he led the league in big-time throws on Sunday with 6. You have to give him some credit.
We lost.
Oh.
You lost, Skip. You don't get no praise in losing. Isn't that what you're telling me about LeBron? When LeBron averaged a triple-double against the Golden State Warriors, they lost in 5. Shannon, they lost. What good is a triple-double? Now you want to throw up stats in an L. I'm not going to stand for it.
I'm going to call that blooper tape back up from LeBron's first year.
Hello. What LeBron?
That was a whole year. He played, 55 games? 28 and 27? Let's get the blooper tape.
What does LeBron have to do with Tom Brady? Tom Brady messed up.
Well, one is the phony GOAT and one is the GOAT.
Oh, no.
And one is 3-6 in the finals and the other is 6-3 in Super Bowl.
But this is what
That's what they have to do. They're linked.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. When someone says something, did you see what Mike Malone said? Did you see what David Blatt said about LeBron? You take that to your bank. But when B.A. talk about he did not play well, that's a problem. Ain't no problem.
Hey, if Shannon Sharpe had been in Tom Brady's cleats on Sunday, Shannon Sharpe would have been outraged.
Skip, like I said.
You can't do that to Shannon Sharpe publicly.
Skip, if Tom Brady had a conversation with B.A. and says, the way you talk to, publicly is going to be a problem. If he voiced those concerns before he got there and B.A. did that, yes, that would be a problem.
Who saw this coming?
Everybody that know B.A. except you.
True. That's not true.
Skip.
To do that, was he right in his criticism? No.
Skip, all I'm saying is this is who that man is. So Tom knew what he was signing up for because I'm sure Tom has done his homework. Talked it, and knew who B.A. was. He knew it played. He was in the league with Byron Leftwich, so he kind of knew but I'm sure he got a real sense of who Bruce Arians was.
You know what? After the game, I believe Tom Brady sat back and said, you know, it's too bad that Drew Brees didn't retire, so I could have played for obviously Sean Payton, because it was widely reported, especially from Jay Glazer here, that Tom would have been a Saint. That was his first choice if Drew decided to hang him up.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
there you go.
All right, guys. Regardless how you feel about Tom Brady, get this, the ratings back for that game. 26 million people watched that one. That is the biggest game since the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady, he's must-watch TV, regardless.
Yeah, they were tuning in to see B.A., coach.
Yeah,
don't do that, Skip. Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No mercy.
Clippers face the Nuggets Game 7 tonight, and despite blowing their 3-1 series lead over Denver, the team doesn't seem too worried. When asked about his squad blowing a 19-point loss on Sunday, Paul George said the team's mood is, quote, positive. This group's staying together. We're still in the driver's seat. It's not panic mode. So, Shannon, who wins Game 7, Clippers or Nuggets?
Yeah, Paul George, you're right. Y'all are in the driver's seat, but you're driving a hoop in its own blocks. You ain't going nowhere, bro. I don't get it, Skip. Remember after Game 5, they blew that 15-point lead? Paul George said, we got to come out with the same intensity that we started the game with, play that way through the entirety of the game, and put this team away in Game 6. We ain't worried about it. We're going to put them away in Game 6. Why are we having this conversation about Game 7? If Paul George was going to do what he said they were going to do, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. Skip, you and I should be discussing the Clippers and the Lakers getting ready to play tomorrow night. That's what we should be discussing.
Correct.
But we're not. Okay. For me, Skip, am I going to put my trust in Paul George, Skip? Okay, this is his last playoffs in an elimination game. 2017 against the Clippers. Paul George was 5 of 21. In an elimination game against Utah, Paul George was 2 of 16. Last year, against Utah, 2019, 3 of 14. You put your trust in that, Skip? I didn't think so. For me, they better find an answer for Yoke, because that's the guy they have no answer for, Skip. He's 28, 14, and 6 since Game 2. They got no answer. They don't. Zubac is not agile enough to guard him outside. And then when they bring in Trez or they bring in a smaller person, all he does is post him up and shoot over the top of him. So they have no answer for them. The Nuggets just got to keep this. Don't let them run and hide. Give yourself a chance late into the ball game. Now, every time I pick them, they lose, and when I don't pick them, they win. But Skip, I really think the Nuggets are on to something here. I think the Nuggets believe that they can beat this team. I believe the Nuggets believe deep down, they're better than this team. Just don't get down by 30, and it's like, we're gonna be there. Because even what was that Game 2, Skip, they still had a chance. Remember, and they just could not buy a bucket late into the ball in the second game, Game 2, in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't hit a shot because they were right there.
Agreed.
They were right there. So for me, Skip, I'm gonna take the Nuggets. I believe the Nuggets will win a close ball game. But Skip, all I heard from day one when discussing the Clippers was killer instinct. Dog. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? They got a kennel out there? Because that's all I hear is, when you talk about Clippers, all you hear about is dogs. Oh, the dogs. Man, they got guys, they can throw this guy at LeBron, they can throw that guy at the LeBron, and this one. Well, you better find somebody you can throw at Yoke. And you better find somebody that can do something with Murray, because he getting cooking now. So I'm going to take the Nuggets in a close ball game tonight.
For once, I have to admit, you are almost certainly right about your pick. I picked the Clippers before the year started to win it all, so I can't back off that. I can't just wave the white flag and give up and say, okay, I give in to the Nuggets. I'm still going to pick the Clippers, but I wouldn't bet, what am I going to have for lunch? Let's see, chicken and broccoli. I wouldn't bet one little piece of broccoli on this.
What about a wooden nickel?
How about a plug nickel? Do you remember plug nickels?
I do.
Okay, I wouldn't bet a plug nickel on this, because clearly the Nuggets have their number psychologically. Clearly they have seized the momentum and the control of this series. I'm talking about the mental control.
Right.
They just believe that they've got the Clippers right where they want them. And if it happens to be down 16 and a half, they got them right where they want them. And all I know is that the odds makers keep indicting the Clippers.
Right.
Because every game up until this one has been Clippers by 8 or 8.5 points.
Right.
Well, okay. So what's that tell you?
Yeah.
The odds makers are saying they're just clearly better than that team.
Yes.
Tonight, it has shrunk all the way to 7.5. Okay. So 8.5 to 7.
But the odds makers still believe in them.
They still believe them by 7.5 points. They're saying that's a pretty significant basketball spread. That's just saying, hey, and obviously it's on a quote-unquote neutral floor.
Right.
It's really not a home
Because,
game.
Skip, you remember when the Lakers were playing the Rockets, the line was 5.5, 6.5.
It was all the way through.
Yes.
It kept being, even to the bitter end,
Yes.
it was in the 5s.
Yes.
Okay, so what am I seeing here? I'm seeing a joker who has turned the Clippers defense into a joke.
Yes.
Especially in the last 2 fourth quarters. He has toyed with them. He has made them look silly on defense.
Right.
Because they don't have any answer for him.
No.
As a scorer or a passer. They don't have any answer.
Correct.
He's 7 feet tall. He's awkward looking. Doc made a joke about how, you know,
Goofy
he
like
looks
Kevin
a little goofy like Kevin McHale. But it's great goofy, man.
Yeah.
Because it works. He's playing at different speeds, kind of like Luka plays at different awkward sort of speeds, but you can't seem to draw a bead on it. You can't seem to figure out how to deal with it. They tried to bring Trez in to deal with it, and he just gets devoured because he's only about 6'7".
Yeah, he's too small.
And Zubac tries his tail off at 7 feet, but he's just not good enough.
But he can't because they put him in the pick and roll, and now Yoke is shooting wide open threes.
Okay, so look what he's done in the last 2 fourth quarters. He's 8 of 11 and 5 of 5 from the three-point line. And think about this. The last 2 fourth quarters, Denver has made 7 of 9 three-point shots in each fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's 14 of 18 in the fourth quarter. Help me out.
You're going to win a bunch of games.
Aren't you going to lose?
Yeah.
Like, if you can't stop that, if they make 14 threes in 2 straight fourth quarters, you got no shot.
And that's the thing, Skip. With that 3 ball, nobody's out of a ball game.
Nobody's out of it, and they will bury you with the 3. And once they get cooking on it, they all start making threes. They got a lot of weapons. I'm not saying they have a lot of great players. They have one great one and one emerging star in Jamal.
Right.
Jamal has not played great in Game 7s. And remember, they're up to, what are we up to? Like 4 straight Game 7s that they've played?
That's all they've
back to
ever
last year?
San Antonio, Portland, Utah, and now the Clippers. So, Skip, they know what this moment's about, Skip, because this is football. Because the difference between football and basketball, every game is a Game 7 because it's finality. There is no more tomorrow. So they've been in these moments so many times before. I don't know if any of the Clippers, with the exception, Kawhi was in a Game 7 last year against Philly.
He was.
But basically this entire team, this is all they know. Or Game 7s.
Right. So they are battle tested.
Yes, yes.
I've told you from the start, it feels to me like the Clippers' whole season has pointed toward the team they share that building with, Staples. The whole season has been about the Lakers, and all of a sudden it comes down to one game in which they better get serious about the Nuggets.
Right.
And I don't know if they can dredge it back up because they've given all the momentum to the other team, and it still feels like all the pressure is on the Clippers. I don't care what you say. The Nuggets, it's gravy, man. I mean, nobody really expected them to do much against this team.
Right.
They got blown off the floor in Game 1, which worked to their benefit, obviously, because here they came.
Right.
And to your point, Game 2, if Gary Harris drops a couple of threes in the fourth quarter, and he had a couple of wide open, and Jeremy Grant had maybe a couple of wide opens, and they just missed them. They haven't been missing since then. So now it comes down to, you're right about Paul George. He's never been anything but a complimentary star, and I don't trust him. I don't even expect much from him. But what has the Clippers' offense degenerated into over the last...
It ain't no ball move. It's Kawhi. Throw the ball to Kawhi.
Throw him over on the wing and just let him dribble.
He's either going to get to the middle and pull up, or you're going to shoot the mid-range from one of the corners, or you're going to pass. That's it. That's the offense. Ain't no ball.
Try to get in your lane and pass it to somebody, right? And after a while, they just double him, and they all play for him to pass. Stay, watch your lanes, stay in touch with everybody. And he's starting to struggle. He can't get a shot, and he can't find the right open shooter.
Right.
Well, when they're at their best, to me, when they will blow you off the floor, is when the ball starts to move.
Right.
Marcus Morris, this night is not too big for him.
Right.
This stage is not too big.
Right.
He will make threes. He'll take big shots and make big ones. If the ball starts moving, all of a sudden you'll see Landry Shamet make a couple of threes.
Right.
You'll see JaMychal Green make a couple of threes. They have other weapons unexploited where let the ball move. And obviously, Lou Williams has got, he has been bubble burst. Ever since you called him Lemon Pepper Lou, ever since that moment he came back from that debacle in Atlanta after the funeral he went to or the service he went to.
He has not been the same.
He just hasn't been
the same. He hasn't been the same since he re-quarantined. Skip, but the difference in this ball game is that what made the Clippers so great in the regular season is that their bench was dominating. Their bench was giving them 50, 60 on a nightly basis.
Yep.
The Nuggets bench have played them to a standstill.
Absolutely.
And on some nights they outplayed them. Well, if their bench, because they got four of the last five, five of the last six, four of the last six, 6 men of the year.
Yeah.
If the Nuggets with Michael Porter Jr., he's outplayed them.
He has.
He's outplayed them.
But we said early in the bubble, this kid is on the rise, man. He looks like he's got some star potential to him.
And that joker taking threes with, I'm about to make this one.
Yeah.
That one he took the other night, ain't no way he's supposed to take that shot. He shot it passed it to him, and he didn't even think about it.
With conviction. He did. When he shot it, I said, that's in.
And now he's getting more and more confidence.
Yep.
And Mike Malone is believing in him, and he's playing more and more minutes. The thing is, Skip, like I said, and what I love about him the other night, I say, at some point in time, bro, you're 6'10". Challenge somebody at the rim. If you get poked on, you get poked on. But you got to challenge somebody. You just can't just let him go up there and just like, he ain't going to challenge. He challenged Zubac, blocked it, and got the rebound. Built up a lot of cred in the locker room with his teammate because they know he can play offense, but they need you to give him a little bit on the defensive end.
Yep.
It's going to be a dogfight tonight.
All right, bottom line, if the Clippers are going to survive this game, it has to be about Kawhi Leonard. He's their star. He's got to orchestrate and ignite it from the start, and he's going to have to play both ends in ways that his creaky, arthritic knees don't often allow him. He's going to have to try to play defense as hard as he's playing offense right now.
Skip, but you know he's been playing 40 minutes.
Okay, well, he's going to have to play 48 minutes. So I'm serious.
He might have to play 42, 43.
This has to be a superstar game.
Yeah.
So here's my prediction, and I'm just hoping against hope on this. The only way the Clippers are going to win this game is by a lot, where they come out and just take it over from the start. So my prediction is Clippers win. Again, I wouldn't bet a plug nickel on this. I'm going to go 120 to 100, where they lock down on defense and hold them to right at 100. And
so you said the game's going to be over at the start of the fourth?
Correct.
Because if they go into the ball game in the fourth
quarter, they got no shot. No shot if this is a close game into the fourth. That's my prediction. And it won't come true.
You hoping?
No, I just don't. I don't see it.
I know. You've been doubting for a couple days now. All right. We got to move on to the Cowboys. See how you feel about this one, Skip. The Cowboys did take an L on Sunday night. One bright spot, though, guys, was Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke ran for 96 yards, caught 3 passes for another 31 yards, and scored Dallas's only 2 touchdowns of the evening. The success didn't go unnoticed, with Pro Football Focus naming Elliott as the NFL's best running back Week 1. So, Shannon, should the Cowboys feed Zeke more? And I am not talking about the tattoo.
You know what? I didn't realize what that tattoo said because I was looking at it, and somebody and I was asking, I said, well, what did the tattoo say? Because I see him lift his shirt up, and it said, feed me.
Feed me.
Zeke, you do know you're not going to have that 25 body. Then you have to put don't.
Don't feed me.
If you don't have, if the abs disappears. Skip, Zeke was unbelievable. Now, had they given this award to Edwards-Helaire of Kansas City, Skip, I don't think you or I would have disagreed.
Like first team all Sunday. I agree.
So maybe it was because of the But, Skip, Zeke was
And by the way, Derrick Henry was pretty good last night, too. But go ahead.
Skip, when I look at Zeke looked reinvigorated.
Yep.
He looked rejuvenated.
I agree.
I mean, he always fall forward, but he looked like he had a burst that I hadn't seen Zeke have, especially out the gate.
I agree.
In a long time.
Yep.
Caught the ball extremely well, ran with conviction, ran with power, shoulder burst that I'm not used to seeing. Skip, but I'm a firm believer, and this is why, for the most part, Skip, Zeke has always been ranked higher on when the players and coaches than Dak. Because if you look at it, Skip, when they ran play action, Dak was 9 of 11 on play action, averaged 11 yards per attempt. On non-play action, he was 16 and 28, 5 yards per attempt. Just watch the game last night. Man, when they stick that ball in Derrick Henry's belly and he rolled through the line, you had Davis and the guys wide open.
Yep.
You got to honor him.
In the fourth quarter, they were getting just bludgeoned by him. After a while, you just don't want to tackle him.
And so with Zeke, if you got play action, Skip, and plus you got guys, now the play action, you got Gallup, you got Coop, you got CeeDee Lamb. So I'm surprised that they didn't give it to him more and they don't do more off of the play action. I'm a believer that I believe the offense should flow through Zeke. And if it flows through Zeke, good things are going to happen. Because if you look at it, Skip, Zeke has been their workout. And now that he's catching the ball, but I knew he would catch the ball because the backs, you got to catch the ball in the West Coast offense, Skip. They don't really like to do a whole lot. Okay, you run the first 2 downs. Okay, we're going to bring a third down specialist in. The guy stays on the field.
Yeah.
And Zeke can do it all, Skip. He can run the ball, he can catch it, and he's great. The one way you don't play in the West Coast system, Skip, you don't block on third down on blitz pickup because you'll get your quarterback beat up. And even though Donald slammed him, that was enough to slow Donald from getting a hit on Dak. And that's what you got to have. So I have no problem with this, but I do believe the offense should flow more through Zeke.
Okay. Give me a number. He was 22 for 96 rushing.
I believe Zeke at the bare minimum get 25 carries and probably 4 or 5. Somehow he's got to get between 28 and 30. Skip, you got to get your money out. Skip, I'm playing in 15 mil, and I'm trying to get to Tampa. And I believe with those amount of touches, somewhere between 25 and 30 touches per game gives me a better chance of getting to Tampa.
I thought you were going to go 30, like 30 rushes.
No, Skip. 30 rush. I don't know if he can take that, Skip. That's 380. So if you give him 30 rushes, that's 380 carries. Plus, you're gonna probably tack on, Skip, another 50, 60 catches. Skip, you push him to that's crossing another Rubicon. You know when guys give them 400 touches, Skip, you know ain't no coming back.
His career high carries is 33. And remember, it was at Washington. I believe this game was on a Thursday night. If I'm not mistaken, it was a rain game, like a big mutter game.
Yeah.
And he went 33 carries.
No, that was a Sunday. That was a Sunday game.
Sunday night game?
That was a Sunday.
I just have it in my head.
It was raining. Yeah, I remember.
Game,
I remember.
right?
Yes.
He had 33 carries for 150 yards, and they beat a pretty bad Washington team that night. But it was a rain game.
Right.
So you were like, okay, we got it.
Yes.
We got it. Then his career high touch game was that overtime in 2018 against the Eagles at Dallas. Do you remember this? He carried it 28 times and caught it 12 times. It was 28 for 113 and 12 for 79 more yards.
Right.
And it went overtime, and they finally prevailed 29-23 in overtime. Remember, late pass to Amari?
Yeah.
And in that game, Dak Prescott threw for 455 yards. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but it went seesawed back and forth because he made a couple of mistakes. But then in overtime, he was sensational.
Yes.
Okay, so that's career high. That's 40 touches in that game.
Right.
And yet, after I watched the second half the other night, there's merit to what you're saying. There's just merit. Yet the irony of everything we're talking about here is my Cowboys have 3 potential 1,000-yard receivers, and you're saying, no, it's got to flow through 21. What? Well, maybe that is the case because something went wrong in the second half because Dak was just sizzling in the first half.
Yes.
And he goes 15 of 18 for 187, and he's on his way to a big night.
Yes.
And in the second half, he goes 10 of 21 for 79 total pass yards, and they go 1 of 8 on third down. And Zeke dropped out of the picture because they said, let's just throw it. So 21 passes in the second half to 18 in the first half. So they kept going throw. And again, the other irony here is you just said he makes $15 million. Well, the quarterback now makes almost $32 million, so more than twice as much. And by the way, you campaigned through the offseason for the quarterback to make almost 3 times as much as Ezekiel Elliott, who is the bell cow.
He about to get it, Skip. Look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did. They gave Mahomes all that money. And what did they do opening night? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I loved him, and I said that before the draft. I wanted the Buccaneers to get him.
And so there will be a time if teams want to stack the box and say, no, we refuse to let you run it today, Cowboys, that's when CD and Amari and Gallup can come into effect. But if you're going to run against Skip, that's light box. Because they stay in 11 personnel. Tight end, 3 wide receivers, and 1 running back.
They do.
So basically, you're going to be Skip. You're going to be running against a nickel defense. Nobody's playing base defense to that formation. So you should have light boxes. Run them out of it. Run them out of it.
Okay, so here comes your Atlanta Falcons, your hometown team, who've been a mess.
Ever since the Super Bowl.
They've been a mess. They got blown off their home turf on Sunday by maybe the best quarterback in football, or at least he's 1A.
Yeah, they look good.
Russell Wilson. Score was 38-25, and now Dallas is a 5.5-point home favorite over the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, it's at Jerry World, and yet look what Russell did to them throwing the ball. He goes 31 of 35 for 322, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Right.
Yeah, that'll work.
And Russell had a couple of runs in there, too.
And he led them in rushing, and he had, 29 yards rushing on 3 carries, and Carlos Hyde had 23 yards on 7 carries. So he led them in rushing and obviously in passing.
Right.
So my point to you is, it looks like he threw a party on the Falcons. Right. So is Dak licking his chops saying, I want to throw a party?
You do, Skip, because I remember watching tape, and if I see a tight end have a good game against that team, I automatically think, but, you know, we had TD, and so I understood that the offense was going to flow through TD first, and then whatever happens. I think the thing with Skip, when you think Seattle, you're still not thinking throwing the ball. Russell still doesn't get that. You thinking they're going to run the ball with Chris Carson. You think they're going to run the Carson or Casey? Carson. You think they're going with Carlos Hyde and Russell on some of those design zone read stuff. Russell, they got Metcalf. They got Lockett. They got Greg Olsen now. They got a very good receiving group.
They do.
And I think Atlanta underestimated that they were going to throw. Skip, they went for it on 4th down. And they didn't throw a 5-yard route to get the first down. They threw a 40-yard touchdown pass to Metcalf.
Yep.
So if I'm them, look, I run my offense. I don't get caught up in the, well, you saw what Seattle did? I'm going to run my offense. And if the opportunity presents itself where they're going to try and stuff the box to keep us from running the football, okay, Dak, this is going to be one of your days.
Blake Jarwin, as I used to call him, Shannon Jarwin, is gone for the year with a weird, strange...
I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know. Because he grabbed the back of his knees. I was like, okay, what?
He shredded his ACL, non-contact, just planting. Just weird plant. It just went.
Yep.
Almost like an Achilles tear. That's a big loss, because I thought it was going to make the passing attack virtually unstoppable. Right. Well, he's an athlete who can get, he's got a little bit
wiggle. He got wiggle. I'm watching him run. I can see the way he run. He can wiggle.
All right, so he's gone. Van Der Esch is gone. It just feels like he's getting brittle. Like every other game, he's got something go wrong. You know, now he's got a broken collarbone.
I would have thought Van Der Esch would be a mountain boy. He probably drank a lot of milk. Bones should be stronger than that, Skip.
Raw-boned? No. So that's going to hurt the defense.
It is.
So to your point, maybe it's time to just say Zeke or bust. Let's try to establish him. He did. He looked different to me.
Yeah,
I kept saying last year he's frustrated.
He definitely looked in shape, Skip. He looked in shape. I mean, he's still 225, but it's a different contour 225.
And listen, of the 3 catches, that 1 catch that went for 19 yards and touchdown, that was the run of the night.
Yes.
Where once he got rolling downhill, body lean, he was just not going to be denied the end zone.
And plus, Skip, you want to limit Atlanta. They got firepower on their side. Matt Ryan threw for 450.
Yep.
They had 3 receivers go over 100. So you got to be careful. Just think about, okay, we didn't get it. We're going to punt the ball. Do you really want Matt Ryan? I can assure you, if you let Matt Ryan have the ball for 36 minutes, they're gonna throw for he's gonna throw for 400+ yards on you.
So I have a rookie undrafted free agent at right tackle named Terrence Steele that I was not really much aware of out of Texas Tech. And he's going to have to be there for a while because Lyle Collins is on IR for 4 weeks.
Right.
So is it possible, and Connor Williams had a bad night, Zach Martin didn't have a good night, according to Pro Football Focus?
I mean, you going against AD,
I know.
Aaron Donald, Skip. I mean, you're going to probably have a bad night. It's going to be one of your worst nights.
Although there was that one play. Do you remember that one play where Zeke just blew it up? I can't remember exactly
What
how
did he
the
do?
play unfolded, but do we have that play? Oh, it's the goal line play. Here's Aaron Donald.
Double the man.
Aaron Donald. Wait, he's blowing off the ball, and he 360'd him.
Skip,
Wait, is that
they
the
double.
same? Is that
Skip,
number
look at the
99?
double team.
Is that number 99?
And they still didn't moving.
Tyron
Skip,
just moved him backwards.
Skip.
He pushed him off the line of scrimmage. Look at this.
Skip.
He's going backwards.
Skip, they double the man.
This is the best player
That's
in pro
called a scoop.
football. And
Skip, they
no,
scoop block.
That's really just one-on-one.
That ain't no one-on-one.
That 77 blew him off the ball.
You saw Connor McGee. That's what they call it.
Look at that. He 360'd him. he's going the wrong way. Aaron, it's the other way.
First of all,
the ball's coming from the other direction. It's not coming from the end zone.
In our terms, that's called a scoop.
Okay.
You see what he did? They go scoop.
Aaron,
Go to get the linebacker. But
Aaron, what are you doing?
If they do anything.
That's the best player in football right there. But that opened a hole, and Zeke, well, he blew
So you got to double. So you got to scoop the man.
So my point is, with a rookie undrafted free agent at right tackle, maybe you just got to run.
McKinley had a couple of sacks.
Can they run block better than they can pass block? Probably.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you got guys running upfield trying to get sacks, Skip, just run the ball.
Okay. Here we go.
So what you want him to do? You want to run? So you say you want him to run?
By the way, Grady Jarrett, every time I turn on the TV, he's flying in the backfield.
Look, hey.
Okay.
No mercy. Tempers flared at the end of Cam Newton's debut with the Patriots, and a Dolphins player even tried to rip his chain off the former MVP's neck. When asked about the incident on a radio show yesterday, Cam explained, quote, "From where I'm from, that's just a sign of disrespect. It's a chain that has all of my children and their birthstones on it. You could only imagine, for all the fathers that's out there, any type or sign of disrespect for that chain." Shannon, what is going on here?
Cam is 1,000% correct. That is the ultimate sign of disrespect. If you have a chain on, Skip, a chain is a trophy. And it has different meaning for different things. Now, I played on a chain that had my number on it. And then I had a chain that had my kids, had all my kids. All of them start with K, and so it had that. I can imagine if somebody just, Skip, now I've been in a game and was blocking one year in the preseason, and Lee Woodall got me around the neck, and it broke. But Skip, that happened. No.
By accident.
By accident. Yeah, we're actually in the game. But to come up and do that after the game, to do that when we're just standing around talking and that's the ultimate sign of, that's the ultimate F-U.
Except for one other thing, point of order, spitting.
Yeah,
Okay, that'd be the only thing that'd be a little bit worse. Spitting in a man's face. But go ahead.
But both of them you getting fired on.
Yes.
And Cam is absolutely right. Cam said where he's from, and Cam grew up in College Park. I don't know if he on Cameron Road or Camp Creek, but that's neither here nor there. But Cam is from College Park. Skip, why would you do
Atlanta.
that? Atlanta. Yeah. Skip, that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. In the rap game, Skip, there are a lot of guys, you snatch someone's chain and then you brag about it, you boast about it. Guys will come snatch your chain, say, yeah, I took such and such chain. Now, why would you do that? I mean, Skip, the chain I wear now, I wear it all the time. Lil Wayne gave it to me. Got my name on it.
Well, we all got one.
We all got one.
Yeah.
I even brought my sister one. Brought my brother one. I'm just standing around, I'm just chewing, I'm just talking, yeah. And somebody just walk up to me and snatch my chain. Well, there's a good chance, Skip, you're going to have a new co-host. Because I'm going to fire on him.
You should.
So it's as simple as that.
Maybe you should think twice.
No,
anyway,
I
got it. I'm with you.
So Cam is absolutely correct. Skip, I don't get it. Now, we saw Akeem Talib. It said basically, I have no respect for you. I ain't saying I got a little respect for you. I got none. And you watch the Crabtree.
Yep.
And the second time they did it, they got into a fight.
They did.
A legitimate fight.
Yep.
So Cam is absolutely correct for someone to go after your chain, because a lot of guys wear chains, Skip. And if it's in the course of a game, I tackle you and it breaks, okay. But for me to just be standing after the game, or something, because how obviously the NFL don't want you to do it. You've just been tackling for the last 2.5 hours, but they want you to go ahead and disperse, get back to your locker rooms because they're trying to prevent the spread of COVID. But so I get what they're trying to do.
Yep.
But guys are still telling, hey, bro, how you doing, man? You good? Hey, man, good game. Stay healthy. I see you down the road. You need anything? Your family good? I'm just standing there talking, chewing the fat, and then somebody come out of out of nowhere and just snatch my chain. And I'm supposed to do what? Man, y'all too big for this, man. I don't get I don't get why. What? Y'all dislike Cam that much? What Cam do to y'all? Man, y'all, these millennials, these new kids, Skip, they getting out of hand with this stuff, man. Y'all better let this, look, y'all not hard. Stop thinking y'all about this, y'all some goons. Y'all not goons. And even if you grew up in that environment, you wanted to play a sport to get out of that environment. So get out of that mindset. Man, everybody want to be hard now.
I am so with everything you just said. Short of spitting in a man's face, this is the ultimate sign of disrespect. This is about fight. If you want to fight, go for the
you want to fight.
Okay. All right. Now to your point and your question. What possessed these two young players? Christian Wilkins out of Clemson was the 13th overall pick,
right.
24 years of age. Raekwon Davis is out of Alabama. He was a second-round pick, and he's a rookie. Both defensive linemen.
I was one of his co-coaches at the Army All-American game.
For some reason, both of them decided they'd had enough of Cam Newton during the game, and they were going to get a piece of Cam, a literal piece of Cam after the game. And they went after his chain. They had no idea what his chain meant to him. But
it means something. Anybody that wears a chain, it means something.
They didn't know it was his kid's birthstones.
They didn't care.
Whatever. They didn't care.
Right.
They went to rip it off, and they got it. They just didn't pull it away.
Right.
It fell, and he caught it.
Right.
Okay, but they snapped it. And then they're tweeting after the game. Raekwon tweeted at Cam, man, ain't nobody want your fake-ass chains. Bleep was weak anyway. What? So something really detonated inside these two young players because just, I don't need to remind everybody, but Cam Newton is in his 10th year.
Right.
He's 31 years of age.
Right.
He was the Rookie of the Year once upon a time. He made 3 Pro Bowls, and in 2015, he was the MVP of the whole league.
Right.
You would think they would have a little bit more respect for that man.
Maybe it's the Alabama-Auburn thing. Maybe it's Quan at Alabama, Cam at Auburn. So I dislike you. You went there, I don't like you.
But it's Clemson, Auburn, I don't know.
No, ain't no connection there.
Okay, no connection. I'm just guessing about this. I think Cam talks during the game. I think he talks a lot.
Of course.
And I believe he was telling both of these players, you ain't, I'm coming right at you. And by the way, it's not like Cam Newton is a weak-ass football player.
Right.
Because he will run over any and everybody. Right. I always say, to me, he's the ultimate gamer baller. He's just going to give up his body. He's going to run over everybody. But I think they looked at him post-game as, you ain't about it post-game.
Right.
Because they had no qualms. They just went right at him.
Yeah, they walked right up on it.
Okay, and it's not like he's not in their size range because he's about 6'5", 240-ish.
Yeah.
They're bigger.
Yeah.
Both of them are bigger, obviously. They're both, I don't know what they are, 300-ish or 280 something.
Oh, yeah. Christian Wilkins is at least 300.
Right? Somewhere in that
probably
ballpark.
3'2". Yeah.
Probably. Okay, so they're bigger men than Cam, but they're basically, they're just saying, you want us, let's do it right here, right?
And Cam got into it with Roberts and Van Noy, who were former Patriots. Yeah, Cam talks. Look,
He talks.
Yes, he talked. Okay, fine. You had an opportunity. You had 60 minutes to shut him up.
You did.
Now, all of a sudden,
agree.
after the game, you want everybody tough.
Yep, they wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
For what? You had 60 minutes to fight.
Yep.
If you really want to fight, join the military. They'll pay you. But I hear you had 60 minutes to get your business done, and you ain't do nothing. That's why everybody used to get mad and say, why you want to fight me now? You had 60 minutes to shut me up. Now, all of a sudden, you mad. Cause you caught this L, and I'm talking. I'm going to still talk. Why you getting on the bus and you ain't going to do nothing?
By the way, you talked a lot.
All the time. I sure did.
And I'm sure people wanted to fight you after the game, and I'm sure you said, well, why didn't you fight me during the game?
Why you didn't fight me during the game? And hey, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to do my interviews, and I'll be out there. You want to do something, we going to do something. But I don't get this, Skip. I don't get it. Okay, you talking, Skip, a lot of guys talk. It didn't bother me. It didn't even cross my mind, oh, I'm going to get it back. This is what I'm going to do. So what? You can go on IG and post, yeah, I snatched the chain, and he ain't do nothing. Normally, Skip, when people snatching chains, now they still snatch chain, People running up on you with that tool. Ain't nobody just running up on somebody and just snatching their chain, because they already know what it is, what time it is. And these dudes, like, they hard. Bruh, you trying to leave that environment. So leave that mindset of that environment behind.
It just shocks me they would have no respect for Cam Newton. Like even if he's talking, even if he really...
Go snatch Brady's necklace.
That's what I'm saying.
Go snatch Drew Brees' necklace.
Yeah. Boy, that's...
Yeah, go snatch somebody neck. You mad at Cam. Man, Cam did right. Cam should... Well, I mean, yeah, Cam, you can't really slap him because that's your throwing hand. I was going to say, you know, you can't... you can't do anything because you... I mean, Cam breaks his hand, slapping one of them across the face mask or punching one of them in the gut. You know, like, Cam, you know, you got to be smarter than that. And that's what he said. He was telling Coach Belichick, I understand, Coach, you know, I got to be smart, but that College Park was about to come out, you know.
But he had to say something to them that really, in their minds, crossed the line. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, y'all terrible.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, you know. And
I didn't even start with this foolishness.
Well, they get another shot on December 20th in their place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Here we
There
go.
might be, all right, a little something brewing there. We're going to keep an eye.
There's
Guys,
something brewing, okay?
No mercy.
the league was applauded for its social justice and anthem presentations in the opening weekend of games, including playing a video of Alicia Keys performing Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black national anthem, in stadiums and on TV before games. The video included a clip of Colin Kaepernick kneeling in 2016, and the former QB tweeted about the presentation, writing, quote, while the NFL runs propaganda about how they care about black life, they are still actively blackballing Eric Reid for fighting for the black community. Reid then also chimed in on Twitter, claiming that the league, quote, uses video of Colin courageously kneeling to legitimize their disingenuous PR. Shannon, what do you make of these tweets?
Let me take Eric Reid first. Skipper, he's frustrated. He had one of the best seasons for a safety in the NFL last year, and he's without a job. My advice to him would just be patient. Skip, remember, Jadeveon Clowney just signed, a big-time free agent, just signed 8 days ago. Cam Newton didn't sign until if I'm not mistaken, the 8th of July. And now Earl Thomas is also in the market. So he has some competition at the safety position in the market. Yeah. I know it's frustrating. Skip, do you realize Eric Reid will be 29 in December? He's 28 years of age. Yeah. He's not 34. He's not 30.
Mostly the whole season at 28.
Yes.
That works.
Yes.
Yep.
So he's frustrated. He's like, look at what I did from a safety position. The tackles, the pass breakups, and the level in which I played at.
He set the Carolina franchise record for most tackles by a defensive back.
Yeah.
And the most sacks by a safety. Go ahead.
So that should warrant me having a job in the NFL. Are you telling me there are 64 safeties that's currently playing right now better than me?
No.
And if you count their backups into account, say there's one per team. So now you're saying there's like, what, 96 safeties that are better than I am right now. No, that's absolutely incorrect. But I would just advise him to be patient. I understand that he's frustrated, and his frustration is properly placed, I believe. The Kaepernick situation, Skip, there's nothing the NFL can do to make it right with Cap. Because they'll never be able to make him whole. Everybody knows, Skip, and for me, I do not believe the commissioner can only do so much, but at the end of the day, the commissioner works at the behest of the owners. And the owner says, no way, no how are we ever going to give Colin Kaepernick another chance. Skip, look, and I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick is Dr. King, but Dr. King and the people that were close to him, be it the Andy Youngs, the Jesse Jacksons, and the Abernathys, they were criticized and ostracized just like Dr. King. Yep. But it was Dr. King that paid the ultimate price. Colin Kaepernick didn't lose his life. He lost his football life. Yep. He didn't lose his literal life. He lost his football livelihood. So they said, we got to make the ultimate example out of you, because the punishment, and that's what they did. Don't let them fool you. The punishment, it has to be so severe and so harsh. Not only does it punish you, it deter others that ever want to come out with a stance similar to this. So that's why the punishment has to be like this. Skip, against the advice of the owners, Roger Goodell tried to set up this workout. They had never, ever done this in the 100-year history of the NFL. the NFL had never intervened and tried to schedule a workout against the owner's demands. The owner said, hell no, we don't want any part of this. And the commissioner said, yes, we're going to do this. I get it. He's at the forefront. And remember, Skip, we talk about this all the time. He's at the forefront, so he takes all the arrows, he takes all the stones, while the owners sit back and cash $300 million checks every year. That's why he makes $40 to $50 million. That's why he has lifetime health care and gets to fly that private jet. So they get to sit back and he gets the criticism. But they're right. It's easy now. Skip, Dr. King said, it's not in moments of convenience. It's moment in trial. 2016, 2017 is when you should have been at the forefront. It's a demonstration now. The toxicity has been taken out of it because the majority of the population said it's okay now. It wasn't okay then. But Skip, they're never going to be able to make Cap whole. It's over for Cap. I believe Eric Reed, I believe there's an 80% chance that he'll get another call. I do. I do.
Man, I hope you're right. All I know is I have 2 starting safeties for my Dallas Cowboys, neither of whom...
Eric Reed better than both of them.
That's what I'm saying. I would take him in a heartbeat right here, right now. He can play. You can look this up. I loved him coming out of LSU, and he made the Pro Bowl as a rookie for the 49ers. He can play at age 28. He's averaged starting 14 games a year for 7 years. He's a starting safety in this league, and I'm sure he's better than 70% of them.
Yes.
It's a sad story. It's a sad chapter, not just in the history of the NFL, but in the history of our country, what has happened to these 2 men. But as you always say, protest has a price.
Yes.
And I hope you're right about Eric Reed. I don't know about this. Just remember, both these men sued the NFL for collusion.
Correct.
And they, quote unquote, won because it soon got settled.
Correct.
So they did win in spirit. You know how these owners are.
Of course.
Once you back them up against the wall, they're...
But E. Reed got signed even after that, Skip.
He did, by Ron Rivera.
Right.
You know, who said, no, I'm going to do this. And it benefited Carolina hugely. I know they didn't have great teams, but he was a very good player for them. So now back to Colin Kaepernick. This is just me. You can say silly me if you want. I was so hoping, because he has such a powerful voice. Even on Twitter, he has a powerful, like his tweets just resonate to me. But when I used to be able to hear him speak, it would be enthralling and enlightening because he has such emotion welled up inside him. And I was just hoping he could become a leader, if not the leader, of this new racial justice movement that I believe has a little bit of a foothold in this country. I'm talking about racial awareness.
Right.
The doors cracked open, and I wanted him to be at the forefront of that. And to do that, he would have to let go a little bit of his bitterness toward the league, all of which is hugely deserved, obviously. And now he's saying, well, the NFL runs propaganda, how they care about black life. Okay, we get that, but... And as you dismiss them, they're just gestures, but they're trying, they're doing the best they can in their circumstance.
Well, Skip, the thing, this is what you and I both know about protests. Protests must be uncomfortable.
Very.
And because now they allow them to do it, it's no longer uncomfortable. It's not turned into a demonstration.
It is.
See, that's what protest. See, people protest is supposed to be uncomfortable. People have gotten comfortable with this, so now it's a demonstration. So the toxicity, the in your face, the uncomfortableness of this has been drained somewhat.
I got it. But it feels like our commissioner, Roger Goodell, has tried to make it up to Colin as much as he can.
Roger Goodell doesn't own a team.
He doesn't own a team, so he can't snap his finger and say, go there and play.
Skip, he's already defied him once. So, Roger took a lot of heat in 2014, and it took the big six to come out and back him. It took Jerry Jones, it took Jerry Richardson, it took Bob McNair, Mr. Kraft, it took Daniel Snyder. And they wrote, when those 2 guys wrote that letter, says Roger Goodell have our backing, everything was okay. And then Jerry tried to circle back on him in 2017, Skip, because he's like, hey, You remember I went to bat for you? You need to stand down. And Roger would do it but Roger had the other 31. Yeah. Roger Goodell had the other 31 on to say, you always letting the Cowboys skate. You better not let him skate on this. And then Jerry had to stand down. Yep. And then last year, when he organized this, the owners didn't want this, Skip. This was Roger Goodell and Troy Vincent. And so they's like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say what I have to say, but I don't really know how much further I can go. Since I don't own a team, I'm the commissioner of a league. I'm not the owner of, I don't own the Cowboys or the Steelers or the Giants. No. I'm the commissioner of those teams that form the league. And so, Skip, that's why they say when they say the league, no, the owners. Yep. It ain't no league. Roger Goodell is the commissioner. It's the owners. And I don't really know what else they want Roger can do. Roger can't tell Jerry Jones what to do.
Yep. Short of going back in time and getting Colin a job 3 years ago when he really deserves it, because now, what are we up to? He's 3 years out?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I'm losing
17,
track.
18, 19, 24.
4 years out. Well, what are the odds he could step back in right here, right now, and play at a high level? I don't know.
That position.
Yeah.
You see Alden Smith, Skip. Alden Smith, because football is just, the defense is just reaction position. Son, go get the quarterback. Yep. Son, this is what you rush here. Don't get caught inside. Okay, you can do that. But a quarterback, Skip, to not play in 4 years and come back out there?
I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed.
Yes.
I hope you're right about the Eric Reed ship not sailing.
I believe Reed's going to get a call. Okay. I do.
Well,
his old coach, Ron Rivera, has a job, so give him a call, Ron.
I keep saying, Jerry, sign Earl Thomas. But maybe I should be saying, Jerry, sign Eric Reed. I'll take either one of them right here, right now.
But I don't think your safeties didn't play particularly bad, so Jerry's in really no rush, Skip. If they had given up a couple of bombs or missed a couple of tackles.
No, I got it. It's just firepower. It's just like a made man that you have at the back end of your defense. That's what I'm talking about.
No mercy. Sunday on Fox, Dak and Zeke lead Skip's Cowboys in their home opener against Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Or you may see the 49ers take on the Jets, or Aaron Rodgers hosting the Lions. All the NFL action kicks off at 1 Eastern. Check local listings for the games in your area or watch it on the Fox Sports app. Sundays are so fun and so normal again. And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, well, his Week 1 performance looked like a throwback game for the former Super Bowl champ. Aaron Rodgers threw for 364 yards, 4 touchdowns in his season debut, while his heir apparent rookie QB, Jordan Love, could only watch from the sideline. Pro Football Focus was also watching, rewarding Rodgers by not only naming him the best quarterback of Week 1, but also as their offensive MVP for the league's opening weekend. So, Shannon, tell me this. Can Aaron Rodgers keep this up?
Skip, they won't ask him to. I think the thing is Minnesota probably went to the game looking at the kind of games that Aaron Jones had against them last year, and they probably geared up to stop Aaron Jones from running the football. They probably read what Pro Football Focus, probably was listening to Skip Bayless saying Aaron Rodgers is not that guy anymore. And he said, okay, y'all hit hard. Y'all must have forgot. I'm still Aaron Rodgers. I'm still 12. I still play in Lambeau, and I can do this on the road, or I can do it in my own building. And he showed him. You know what this man is, Skip. He's still that guy. Even though you don't want to believe that he's a leading man, he's still a leading man on a blockbuster field. Yes, he showed that.
Yes.
Yes.
He continue to show that. That's the question.
Skip, the thing is when we look at Aaron Rodgers, we say, well, Aaron Rodgers had an off year. An off year for him is 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You know why that's an off year? Because we used to see him throw 45 touchdowns for 4,000 yards with 5 interceptions. So just imagine, you having an off year and you got the best touchdown to interception ratio. Wow. That's off. Let that sink in, Skip. Aaron Rodgers will be just fine. He's going to be in the MVP discussion. He'll throw for another 40, somewhere between 4,000, 4,500 yards. He'll have 30 touchdowns. And guess what, Skip? He'll be single-digit interceptions, and they're going to win that division again.
My turn. So, read last night in Pro Football Focus that, interesting, Green Bay came out incredibly conservatively to start the game, obviously scripting sort of West Coast style, 15 plays. 10 times he dropped back, Aaron Rodgers did, generating an average depth of target of 4.4 yards, average time to get rid of the ball 1.75 seconds.
Yes.
That was over a half-second quicker than any other quarterback all Sunday in scripted plays. So it's a short leash that he was on to start the game. He's just like bing, 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 bing.
Well, what is Minnesota known for, Skip?
Yep.
Zimmer, it's pressure.
Rush.
So let me get the ball out of my hands and see. Oh, we can hold up. Well, get down the field, Devontae. Get down the field.
Final minute of the first half, kaboom, here they came. Downfield, downfield, downfield. But guess who was playing in the defensive backfield for the Minnesota Vikings? Two rookies were playing, Cameron Dantzler and Holton Hill. Were having to start that game, and when lined up outside, they allowed 13 catches on 17 targets for 167 yards.
Okay.
Yikes.
Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem, and that's going to be an ongoing problem for these Minnesota Vikings. They can rush the passer. Can they defend the pass? I don't know.
No.
So, what do I know about Aaron Rodgers going into the year? Well, Pro Football Focus becoming my Bible here. They didn't even rank Aaron Rodgers in the top 50 of NFL players. Do you believe in that? I didn't do it. They didn't do it, right?
Oh.
It wasn't my choice. It was their choice
You
to
read
say
it.
no. I read it, and I read it to you then. I'm going to read it to you again. Rodgers has become ever more evidently part of the problem in Green Bay, and his own team spent the offseason laying plans to minimize his role in 2020 and replace him beyond that.
How'd that work out for him?
Woo!
How'd that work out
Rodgers finished the season last year, the regular season, ranked number 9 among quarterbacks. Not terrible, but not what you say.
Hold on. What did the other guy finish? He wasn't ranked 9.
What other guy?
Your guy.
The GOAT? My guy didn't have Devontae Adams.
Oh, no,
He's big time. Woo! And by the way, from week 8 onwards, he ranked 17th among quarterbacks. So he really started to trickle down.
Skip, I want to know one thing, because this is what I'm starting to see. When we like a guy, it's all about winning. When we don't like said guy, it's about stats. Now, Tom Brady, his first 7 years, didn't have the stats that Peyton Manning had. But he was winning championships, and we value playoff wins. We value success in winning more than individual accolades. Now the roles are reversed. Now we want stats, or we want wins. I just need to know.
What does this do for you? Tom Brady has won 6 Super Bowls with 6 fourth-quarter game-winning drives. That impress you?
What did he do it last year?
Ooh. Well, those are Super Bowls.
No, last year wasn't a Super Bowl. Last year. So in other words, when Coach, you said that's the Bible, that's the football Bible. They said he was part of the problem, and they went out to replace him. So what did Coach Belichick do by not bringing Tom Brady back? What did Coach Belichick say? I don't need Pro Football Focus. What did he say about his team?
I'm going on 70 years of age. I deserve the right. I have earned the right to go win one by myself. Get him out of here.
Okay, so Green Bay said, look here, this is our team. Aaron Rodgers doesn't own this team. So if we want to bring a quarterback on, we're going to bring a quarterback on. That was no problem. But now all of a sudden, so Coach Belichick, who's there, see, they're speculating. Ain't no speculation with Coach Belichick. He did it. He did that. Well, so you want to impress me. If they really thought Aaron Rodgers was the problem, don't draft a quarterback. Get rid of him and draft a quarterback. That's what you tell me. That's when you're telling me.
Well, it seems like he's being fast-tracked out the back door in Green Bay. He did have a sensational opener, but I remind you, he had a really good game at Chicago. They had a huge game.
He had that.
Okay, he didn't have that, but they had a big win at Chicago to start last year, and he wound up 18th in QBR and 21st in completion percentage. Year before, big opener.
He got hurt. Stop.
Okay, but he got hurt in the opener at Lambeau against the rival Bears.
Yes.
Khalil Mack got him.
Yes.
And he literally rose from the NFL dead almost.
With it a half. And came back out with a brace.
Came back out with a brace, and they were down.
And did that.
They were down 20-3 entering the fourth quarter.
He did
and
that.
They roared back to win 24-23, and he threw a 75-yard touchdown pass to little Randall Cobb that vaulted them back with 2 minutes to go into the lead. And what happened after that? And then he finished 16th in QBR and 26th in completion percentage.
The man was hurt all year long.
Okay.
He had that knee brace on for at least the first 8-9 weeks of the season. You know, he's not used to. Tom Brady can wear a knee brace because he's used to wearing the knee brace. Peyton Manning wore a knee brace. Elway, Marino.
Yep.
But guys that are not used to wearing that, they don't just put those on just for show. I mean, when we was growing up, everybody wanted to wear a neck roll. You play wide receiver, you play quarterback, you had a neck roll because that was the cool thing.
It was.
Skip, the man wearing the knee brace. You think he wanted to wear it because he was cool? He already swagged out.
2017 opener, he threw for 311 and outgunned Russell Wilson at Lambeau. And after that, he was mostly just sort of hurt the whole year, and it was just like a non-year.
Oh, he was hurt.
So I'm just saying, 3 straight openers, he's been really good. Now 4 straight. Now show me. Now do it the rest of the year.
He will.
Use that as a springboard. I want to see MVP.
He sprung board in the 13-3.
Yeah, okay.
Can I interest you in that? And won the division. Went to the NFC Championship game.
Thanks
they got
to
beat by
other Aaron.
Aaron
Jones.
Really?
Well, I kept telling you all year, I think it's that guy's.
So let me ask you a question.
Most of the
if I take Aaron Rodgers out of that offense and I put Jordan Love in there, you think he's going to do that?
I don't know. I haven't seen Jordan Love play yet.
We're going to talk about Saquon. Look at when you don't got no quarterback and you just got the running back. You see what they do? You see what they do?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You keep on thinking now. Aaron Jones, no. He loosened that thing up.
Is Aaron going to get to play against Cameron Dantzler and Holton Hill from here on?
In the league.
Okay. I'm just waiting and seeing.
Well,
I want to see MVP. This is the greatest throw of the football ever. And he threw it right down Minnesota's
who they got next week? You'll see it. You'll see it again.
I have no idea.
Just imagine they didn't spend that game another wide receiver or got him a nice tight end, got him a weapon, another weapon.
Yep.
Because you do realize, with the exception of Adams, who's a second-round draft pick, all those other guys are free agents. He's throwing the free agents and fifth-rounders. What is Mike Evans? What was Mike Evans drafted? What was Gronk? Oh, they're pretty good, huh? Okay. Oh, O.J. Howard, is he any good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Told you. He went from the
My guy ain't got that.
worst receiving core in New England to maybe the best in Tampa.
Gave another weapon. They should have gave him one more weapon so he could have been like Mahomes. My homeboy. But the homeboy got something for you in about week 3 or week 4.
Yep.
Yeah, he got something for you.
Okay, here we go.
Something for a lot of people.
No mercy.
The Giants' offense struggled getting any rhythm in the ground game during their 26-16 loss to the Steelers last night. Saquon Barkley gained just 6 yards on 15 carries, which comes out to an average of 0.4 yards per rush. And after the game, Barkley said he's, quote, not really too concerned about the stats. The Steelers have a great defensive front. I have to be better for the team. We're now joined by Super Bowl champ and our very own college football analyst, Reggie Bush. Reggie, is Saquon Barkley overrated or underrated?
Absolutely. He's not overrated at all. And I love the quote Saquon Barkley said that, listen, their offensive line just got beat up. Every time he got the football, he had 2 or 3 defenders in the backfield. And it's very hard for any running back, I don't care who he is, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, whoever, it's very hard to be effective with only 6 carries. You can't ask me my yards per carry to go up with less attempts. Right? It doesn't work like that. And so I'm looking at Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett's the offensive coordinator. You came from the Dallas Cowboys with Zeke Elliott, right? And then you go to the New York Giants where they have Saquon Barkley and you only give him the football 6 times, right? They don't have that many playmakers on that team, right, to not give the ball to Saquon Barkley enough. He is their playmaker on that football team. And so why wouldn't you want to give him the football more times, right? And so what it comes down to is this coaching staff, and it comes down to Jason Garrett, right? He threw the football 41 times, and you kind of left your running back, your workhorse, because that's exactly what Saquon Barkley is. He's a workhorse. You kind of left him out there on the island, didn't give him enough opportunities, and you threw the football 41 times. You had two interceptions, 2 bad interceptions by Daniel Jones that were blatant that you just can't do in the red zone. And so to me, there are a lot of issues on this New York Giants football team, and it's not Saquon Barkley. You cannot say that a guy is overrated when you just haven't given him enough opportunities to show you if he's good or not still.
You know, Reggie, I agree with everything you said, but you know why I know Jason Garrett was the offensive coordinator? Because of 15 carries that Saquon got, 8 of them came on first down. Doesn't that remind you of what Zeke did last year, Skip?
6
I know
carries.
you were looking at that. You said, that's Jason. He doing Jason Garrett type things.
Yep.
Skip, I mean, we saw the clip.
That was 6 yards.
How are you going to get anything when they hand you the ball and Bud Dupree hits you in the back? They hand you the ball in 92. I don't remember his name. They're all over him. He can't even get out the backfield. So I guess they need to, the offensive line need to run more wind sprints. Because Joe Judge, they ain't running enough. Because that was pathetic, Skip. That was awful. And Daniel Jones, Skip, you can't have. They're not good enough to overcome those types of mistakes. Yep. And when you turn the ball over like they're turning it over, it's gonna be tough for Saquon. Because you know why? Because they're gonna crowd the line of scrimmage because they're saying, we do not believe your quarterback is good enough to beat us. We know what Saquon Barkley can do. So what we're gonna do, we're going to make you throw the football. And we don't believe your line can hold up, and we don't believe your quarterback, if he does have time, is gonna make enough of the right decisions. Saquon Barkley is fine. But I don't, as you said, Rich, I don't care who you are. You get tackled. I think they had a stat up last night. 11 of his 15 carries, Skip, he was hit either behind or at the line of scrimmage. I don't know what you expect him to do now. He ain't even make no water out of wine. So that's not on Saquon. The offensive line got to at least get him to the line of scrimmage clean. Can we do that, Skip? Can we get him to the line of scrimmage? Can we get him past the line of scrimmage 1 yard without somebody hitting him? No, they said, no, we can't do that.
Okay, it is now Dr. Doom's turn over here. Somebody's got to tell the truth on this show. I'm going to tell the truth about Saquon. I love to watch his games because I wait for the 1 or 2 plays a game that will just light up my TV screen. He is a highlight waiting to happen. And if we could see the one play last night, it's a little screen pass to the right, 38 yards. He hurdles one of the Steelers. You get him in space, you got trouble. You got Reggie Bush problems here. Look at this. He's going to hurdle a DB. I'll watch that 20 times in a row. Watch the highlight. But here's the point. If you're talking about a bell cow, if you're talking about a workhorse, if you're talking about a Zeke or Derrick Henry, he is overrated. He is a luxury back. He is whipped cream. He is icing. You eat some cake. You love that icing. It's the sweetest icing you can ever find because a play or two a game is just going to knock you out of your chair. But the problem is, this was a classic Saquon game. And I get you. Listen, Pittsburgh was flying last night on defense because they can fly. And obviously their whole game plan was to make sure he does not get loose because if you let him loose, he is going to hurt you bad. So what did we see? We saw 15 carries for 6 yards with a long of 7 yards. He got, quote, unquote, loose for 7 yards. So he had 14 carries for -1. Think about that. 14 times you give him the ball, and it totals -1 yards. He got loose for the 138-yarder, and he caught 6 balls for 60. So if you subtract the 38, he caught 5 for 22. That's 4 yards a catch. Okay, what did I keep telling you his rookie year? If you look at all his games he played as a rookie and you subtract his longest rush per game, he averaged 49 rush yards per game as a rookie. If you subtract his longest catch, he averaged 24 yards catching the ball as a rookie. That's 73 combined yards, and it's not that big a deal. Same last year. Subtract the longest rush, he averaged 50 rush yards a game. Subtract the longest pass, 12 catch yards per game, totaling 62 yards a game. So, but I'm taking away the splash play.
But you like that. But you said that's what you didn't like about Zeke because he didn't give you splash plays.
Okay, but he is a pounder, grinder, workhorse back, and you were advocating earlier in the show. Just let him pound, let him grind.
How many yards you think Zeke would have got last night behind that offensive line?
Well, more than -0.4.
I bet you he would not have.
No.
Oh,
No, sir.
He can make.
Put Saquon behind the Cowboys offensive line and put Zeke behind the Giants offensive line.
I told you at Penn State, I didn't see him pound the ball between the tackles. I don't think you can establish the run. Jason tried to last night. He tried to establish the run. With Saquon, he's not that guy.
Skip, no, his offensive line aren't those guys.
Let Reggie talk.
Go ahead,
I want to hear this.
He tried to establish a line with the offensive line that wasn't blocking for him. You know what I mean? Every time Saquon touched the football, Bud Dupree's in the backfield, T.J. Watt's in the backfield. They got corners and safeties getting involved on the run game. So if you're Saquon Barkley, and I love the post-game interview where he said, I got to go back to the film, I got to be better. No, you don't. Your offensive line needs to be better so that you can get some opportunities to be in space. Because I'm so glad you showed that clip, Skip, of when he did get loose on that screen, because that's the only time he had space in that football game. Other than that, Saquon Barkley didn't have space. And then you look at Saquon Barkley is literally built to be a workhorse. Who has thighs bigger than Saquon Barkley, right? So you can't say that Zeke, on one end is way, he's that much better than the Saquon Barkley, because he's not, because he has a better offensive line, he has better weapons around him, and
better
unfortunately, Saquon Barkley, better quarterback, and unfortunately for Saquon Barkley, this is going to happen every single game. He's going to see 8 to 9 to 10 guys in the box every single game because they don't have any weapons at receiver, and Daniel Jones is showing you that he's going to throw interceptions if you get pressure on him.
Yeah. So, Reggie Bush, when you came to the National Football League, were you a workhorse back or a home run hitter?
I was a home run hitter, but yeah, that's the category they put me in. I was a workhorse back, but they categorized me as a home run hitter.
Okay. So where did you have your most success? Which line was the best blocking for what Reggie Bush did best?
Honestly, Miami Dolphins. When I went to Miami Dolphins, that's when I ran the football well. That's when I got the football a lot. I got 20 to 25 carries every single football game, and I got opportunities to show I could be a workhorse. I could be an every down back. So my best run performances were in Miami when I saw 8 to 9 guys in the box.
And Reggie, what was your average playing weight? What did you weigh when you got to Miami? Were you 205, 210?
205, 206, maybe. Okay. That was the heaviest.
Okay. And again, we're looking at Derrick Henry now. What's he weigh? You stood next to him. 250 or 60?
255, 260.
255, yeah, he big.
Okay. Saquon's probably 235.
He doesn't play 235 to me. Yeah. He doesn't have 235 impact to me. That's just me. Zeke has impact at a 225-ish.
Yeah, the Zeke got that offensive line. Yeah. It's the thing is, Skip, is that when you watch this, I don't know how it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating for Saquon, and he'll never say this, but they're wasting 2-3 of his great years because his offensive line isn't any good. And that's sad, because teams are going to stack the box because they do not believe that their quarterback can beat them. At least Zeke has a quarterback, a competent enough quarterback. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones might not be good down the road. He's just not good enough right now to garner the respect from a defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Because, Skip, I mean, how's Bud Dupree? He don't even care about anything. He ain't even worried about no boot. What if they run a reverse? He going straight to the ball. TJ Watt coming downhill.
Straight to the ball.
They bring in as Reggie said, they bring in corners and safety. They say we don't even care nothing about. We'll sacrifice our back end because we already know you can't get the ball out there.
Yep. Hey, they're going to do that to a lot of runners.
Yes.
This year. They're really good on defense.
Well, you better not be doing that to Lamar Jackson.
That's all.
And that's why I feel for Saquon Barkley in this situation, because again, he is just a product of his environment. He's just doing the best that he can with what he can.
Right.
But like I said, at the end of the day, that man is going to see 8 to 9 to 10 guys in the box every single time, because there's not one receiver over there that scares you with their back end speed. There's not one guy over there that's consistently getting separation that makes you feel like, okay, we need to double team this guy. Yeah. We got to focus our game.
I like Slayton.
So do I.
I like Slayton. Ingram, I need to see more from Ingram. Skip, the guy ran 4.4. He's flashed at times, but it's time now to stop flashing. It's time for you to stay on all the time. Ain't no flashing. No, you need to stay lit.
I agree with that.
No mercy.
Tonight, we've got some baseball coming your way on FS1. Catch Matt Olson and the A's as they take on the Rockies. The action begins at 8 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. While the Cowboys took an L on Sunday night, one bright spot was Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke ran for 96 yards, caught 3 passes for another 31 yards, and scored Dallas's only 2 touchdowns of the evening. The success didn't go unnoticed, with Pro Football Focus naming Elliott as the NFL's best running back Week 1. Reggie Bush is still with us. Reggie, should the Cowboys feed Zeke more? And give me your thoughts on the tattoo, too.
Absolutely, they should feed Zeke more. And I love the tattoo, feed me, because that's exactly what you should do. Feed him more. And not just in the run game, feed him in the pass game. Get him involved in space, because at the end of the day, you want to preserve Zeke. You don't want to keep banging him up 20, 25, 30 times each and every game, right? So to me, the question has always been, is Mike McCarthy going to be patient enough with the run game to allow it to continue to evolve? Because what happened to him when he was in Green Bay, right? He loved to throw the football, and he threw the football a lot with Aaron Rodgers, rightfully so. But this is a different football team. This football team is built differently. Now you have a great running back. You have an elite running back behind your quarterback, and now you have options. And so to me, is Mike McCarthy going to be patient enough, right? Because, listen, they already lost one football game. They lose another football game, they might just start throwing it all over the place. And so I just want to see, because Mike McCarthy always talked about how in that year off, he studied, he learned, he kind of retaught himself the game. So, okay, here we are. You lost your first game of the season, right? Are you going to start airing it out? Or are you going to be patient enough to continue to feed Zeke? Because Zeke, the offense has always flown through Zeke. And that's how they have gotten their success. That's how they won football games. And there's stats to back it up to show that when Zeke is fed the football enough times, it usually equals in a W.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I got to hear from the Hall of Fame.
You already know how I feel about this. I've just been trying to share this, tell Skip this, but Skip was, he loves Dak. Ever since he saw Dak in the preseason, he didn't want to hear anything else about Zeke Elliott. But I'm a firm believer that if they run Zeke, give him his opportunities, and I believe somewhere, the carries, maybe he could have got a few more carries, but I agree with you, Reggie, somewhere between 25 and 30 touches a game. They don't all have to be rushes, but he's shown his ability each year. He's gotten better at catching the football out of the backfield. Use that aspect of his ball game. And so now, when they start worried about him, now that's going to open up CeeDee Lamb. That's going to open up the other guys. But when they can run the football, now the play action. You look at Dak, 9 of 11 play actions, 11 yards per attempt. 9 play actions, 16 to 28, 5 yards per attempt. Those linebackers, they got to, because they don't want to get Zeke have a head of steam coming downhill. So they're going to start stepping up to try to fill those gaps. And CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari is going to be wide open in those creases that were vacated by those linebackers. So Zeke definitely needs to touch the ball more. And you saw Kansas City just say, look here, we got the best quarterback in football, and we're going to take a running back in the first round. So I don't really know what else to say. You can't say, well, Dak wants $40+ million. Hell, Mahomes makes $45 million, and Andy Reid just ran the ball. And we know who loves to throw the ball more than Andy Reid, Skip. No. And he would have got it back in the first round. So I do believe they need to run Zeke a little more, give him more opportunities. That will open up Dak in the passing game, and they can have a lot of success doing it that way.
So, Reggie Bush, as I watched my Cowboys lose at Rams on Sunday night, there were 2 revelations in the game. Aldon Smith looks like he's back to being a monster after 5 years away from the game. I'll take that. And Zeke looked like Zeke again to me. After last year, I kept telling Shannon, he came back late to training camp, just in time for the season opener. And he had been training by himself in Cabo San Lucas the whole training camp, and he looked like he was running in Cabo San the whole year. He never looked fit. He had that little second chin all year, just that little one hanging down, and it bothered me because I don't think he ever got quite right.
Well, he was feeding. You said feed him.
Okay,
feed me.
Feed me. Sunday night at Rams, Zeke had more pep in his step.
He did.
He looked sleeker. Yeah. He looked fitter. He looked a little meaner. He hit the holes with more impact and body lean than I saw all of last year, and I loved it, man. It took my breath away a couple times on that one little swing pass that he took home from 19 yards. I said, he was not going to be denied the end zone on that play. Well, that guy, if he's back, I'm with you. Again, he makes $15 million, and my quarterback makes almost $32 million, but you're saying feed the $15 million beast, right? And I can't disagree from what I saw, because my passing attack in the second half sputtered. Dak threw for 79 total yards in the second half, and he made one clutch, all-time great throw, and he got robbed on it because it was not pass interference. It's a joke. It was standard business as usual.
Yeah, Reggie.
It was hand fighting. Reggie, what is wrong with you? He did not extend on him. Jalen Ramsey sold it. He effectively flopped. He looked like he got whiplash. It was a joke. And you robbed me of a shot at least overtime. Maybe they would have won the game. I don't know. But the point is, here comes Atlanta. They can throw it all over the lot. I think I still have a little bit of a suspect secondary. So feed the beast. You know, again, he had 22 for 96. I'm okay with 30 on Sunday. I would see 30 carries.
Yeah.
30 carries and throw it to him, as Reggie said, 4 or 5 times. I like that.
But like you said, though, sometimes you fall into the trap because the team the previous week threw the ball up and down the field. You see what Russell Wilson did. Russell had 5 incompletions. He had 4 touchdowns.
I think he had 4. Wasn't it 31 to 35?
Was it 31 to 35 or 30 or 30? But so you looking at that, you're like, man, that's going to be me. Let Zeke get them touches early.
Okay, so Reggie, what's the top number? Would you give him 30 carries? Would you give him 35 carries in a game? What's the limit?
I would give Zeke 30 to 35 touches. I wouldn't necessarily make them all carries, because at the end of the day, you've seen what he can do out of the backfield. You see that you can even line him up maybe at receiver and get him involved in passing game, because nobody wants to tackle Zeke one-on-one. No linebackers, no safeties, no cornerbacks want to tackle this man one-on-one, because he runs with great pad leverage, right? And that was one of the things I think we were comparing Saquon Barkley versus Zeke Elliott. Zeke runs with pad leverage. Every time he falls, he's falling forward, right? And so that's why you want to give the ball to somebody like Zeke, because you know even if he gets hit and stopped, he's still going to fall for another 2 or 3 extra yards.
Yep, and he is going to punish a defense over 4 quarters, and it's Derrick Henry-esque where you don't want to tackle him.
Well, you know, Skip, I'm going to let the game determine how many touches he actually get, because as you mentioned earlier, that game against Washington, it was raining. He got 30-plus touches because it dictated that.
33.
Skip, if I'm running the football and y'all can't stop him, he might get 30 touches and have 200 yards. But if, you know, y'all stop him and I see y'all try to stack the box, okay, I'm going to throw it, loosen y'all up, and hand it to him some more. So I'm going to let the game determine how much he gets the ball, but knowing that he's still a young Zeke is what, 25? So he still is fairly young, even though he's been the bell cow workhorse back since he stepped in Dallas. I'm going to let him get his touches, and I'm going to let the game determine how many of those touches per game he gets, especially in the run game. But I'm definitely going to run him at least 20 times a game, and if I can get him another 5 to 8 throwing it to him, I'm going to do that also.
So, Reggie, do you remember your most combined touches in a game in the NFL?
I don't remember what my most combined touches were in a game, but I knew. But one thing I do know is every time I touched the football, and if it was 20-plus times, I was very effective.
Really?
I had probably an average about 4.5, 5 yards a carry or a touch. But that's what a running back is, right? When you think about Saquon Barkley, you think about Ezekiel Elliott, they need opportunities. They need touches. They need opportunities to get to a rhythm in the football game, to get a feel for the defense, how they're playing them, how they're tackling them, how they're tackling the running backs. Yeah. So that's why I say you got to feed these kind of guys.
Do you remember at USC your most carries off the top of your head?
It probably would have been about 15, about anywhere between 15 and like 18.
Okay, no more than that.
Most. Yeah,
really?
No more than that.
Oh, I would have thought more, man.
But look at Barry, Skip. Think about how many times he lose 50. Lose 35. And you look at like, hold on. How did Barry end up? I saw him lose like on 10 possessions. He lost like 40 yards. And he ends up with 120 yards rushing on the game. But that's how he is. Those guys, you can't just give. I mean, sometimes in college, you look at a guy, oh, man, he had 8 carries for 95 yards. Just imagine if, no. Barry, these running backs, they need touches. They need 20, 25 touches to get going. And especially a bell cow like a Derrick Henry or guys like that. The more you give it to him, ED said, the more you gave me the ball, the fresher I seem to have getting, because they going to get tired of tackling me. Yeah. By the way, the Cowboys went in to play a playoff game. I think it was 91 at Detroit. And they said, we are going to stop Barry Sanders. Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wanstead. And they took Barry completely out of the game, and Eric Kramer threw a party. You remember this? He threw for like 400 yards, and they got blown off the turf. And that was the last time they lost in the playoffs. That's correct.
Reggie, always a pleasure to have you joining us. We appreciate your time. We'll check in with you soon.
No mercy.
Tom Brady's debut with the Bucs didn't go as planned, as the 6-time champ threw 2 interceptions and often found himself and his new receivers on different pages during Sunday's 34-23 loss to the Saints. While Bruce Arians was critical of his QB's play, Brady shared an inspirational quote from French philosopher Albert Camus on Instagram after the game, which said, "In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love." I personally like that. Shannon, do you think Brady is second-guessing his choice of coach?
Skip, after one game, we got inspiration. We got to feel inspiration.
Yeah.
I mean, really, after one game, Skip, that's where we are?
Yeah. Maybe after one post-game. Is that possible?
Skip, I don't think he is. I think the thing is that Tom had to have known what he was getting himself into. Skip, this is who B.A. is. This is who Bruce Arians is. This is him. Skip, he is harsh in his critique. Yes, his offense allows quarterbacks, but he's very harsh in his critique of the quarterback. And there's, of all players. Skip, you remember he had O.J. out in the doghouse for like 6 weeks last year.
He did.
And Jameis, every week, we just can't make those throws. We can't turn the ball over that. Bruce, do you think you could win games if you didn't turn the ball over? If we win games with the quarterback turning it over like that, we can win games without it. Mm-hmm. So this is who he is, Skip. Look, at the end of the day, Tom Brady knew what he was getting into because he wanted weapons. And the only way he was going to get those weapons was he had to go to Tampa. At this stage of his game, Skip, he's not the Tom of 10, 15 years ago where he can take anybody and make them better. He needs help now. And the help came in the form of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and those other weapons. But they were attached to Tampa. And so this is what you had to do. Skip, a bear wants honey. He knows what's going to happen. He's willing to take those bee stings to get that honey. Tom Brady was willing to take that tongue lashing in order to get those weapons, so it gives him an opportunity to win and to win big.
Not behind closed doors tongue lashing, a public tongue lashing.
Now they do, you know.
Not like Belichick behind closed doors out on the practice field tongue lashing. It's to the world. It's to all the gathered media. Come one, come all. He was garbage.
He didn't say that. Stop that. Yeah. But hold on. Wait a minute. Now, you didn't have a problem. Coach Belichick didn't praise Tom publicly. You wanted him to praise him publicly, but you wanted him to chastise him behind closed doors. So if you get chastised behind closed doors, you get praised behind closed doors.
All right, back to the quote that Jenny read, and she used the French pronunciation because she speaks fluent French.
Yeah.
I don't, but I did read a book called The Plague, a novel called The Plague by Albert, and I'm just going to go American here, Camus, because I called him Camus.
That's pretty good.
Albert Camus. And he's an existential philosopher, and he can really write. And I love The Plague. And by the way, it was eerily reflective of what the world is going through right here, right now. And it came out in 1947. Okay. But I thought, was Brady, because he can be kind of corny, clever with his posts, he was having to hear how great Cam was up in his stomping grounds. So he went Camus in his IG post. And it's a poignant quote. And he's saying, in the midst of hate, I found there was within me invincible love. And the last line Jenny read, no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. It's a great quote. It's true. And yet it was poignant to me because this is a man who got knocked on his backside. And I think it was more post-game than in-game. Because I told you as we opened this show, he made one really bad choice. It was a bad decision, it was a bad idea, and it was poorly executed, and it cost them 7 points the wrong direction.
Skip, I also believe that B.A. wants him to take, you say there were 6 big-time throws. I believe B.A. wants him to take 12 of those. Put them all up.
Okay.
But that's not Tom.
So he tied Aaron Rodgers for the most big-time throws on Sunday.
Right.
6 of them. In New England last year, he had no more than 3 in a game, and those came in the first 3 games.
Right.
So the last 13 games of the year last year, he had no more than 1 big-time throw per game.
Right.
And he had 6 at New Orleans against the best defense he'll face all year.
But, Skip, here's the point. And that offense is meant to produce more big-time throws than what you're customarily used to.
And he's got weapons he did not have last year.
And that's what BA is saying. BA wants him to take more opportunity, take more chances.
So why wouldn't Bruce Arians, who is all of 1-2 as a head coach in the postseason, why wouldn't he give him just a little bit of break? Because it's not going to get any tougher than that game at New Orleans throughout the whole 16-game schedule. They had no preseason. He had been to battle no times with anybody on that field except for Gronkowski, who was sort of a no-show in the game. Why wouldn't you give him a break and say, Tom made some really big-time throws in that game, but he made one mistake? And Bruce Arians wrongly convicted him of one really bad throw up the seam, which resulted in the other interception. And then he backed off yesterday and said, my bad. Actually, that was Mike Evans' fault.
Mike Evans was smart. Mike Evans says, I'm not running down the hole in quarters and get decapitated. But, Skip, let me tell you what. He can come up with all the quotes he wants. He can do Camé, Shamé, and it doesn't matter. Camu. He can do Camu, Caribou. It doesn't matter.
The killer whale.
At the end of the day, Skip, stop worrying about what they say. I thought you told Tom Brady didn't worry about what people say. Now he all of a sudden he worried about hearing what people say they hating him. Tom Brady, the guy, he's an assassin. Nothing bothers Tom. I keep telling you, Skip Bayless, these people are more, just because you can throw a football really, really well, because you can jump high and shoot a basketball, you're still human at the core. And people can say things. And now they know Tom Brady here. I thought Tom Brady ain't listen to what nobody say. Come to find out, he hear more than what we've been thinking.
So Tom Brady inspires more hate than any player in the National Football League, and much of it is detonated by that man across the table from me.
All I said, hold up. All I said was, you knew what you were getting when you went to Tampa.
Well, did you? Did you think he's going to tear your opening game apart publicly when you made only one really bad choice the whole game? One bad decision. The other one was Mike Evans' fault. And you make 6 big-time throws to Mike Evans deep, 2 pass interferences, to little Scotty Miller, twice deep, 1 pass interference, 1 a big completion. And that first one, to what's his name?
Chris Godwin.
Godwin was he dropped it right down the chimney.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. That looked goatish to me.
Oh, it looked goatish to you? Skip, look. I get it. Coach Belichick was praising Cam, and you got to be careful about this, Skip. This happens all the time. We've all had relationships. You live a relationship, and the other party start dating somebody. Oh, that's the best thing. I ain't never been so in love in my life. I ain't never had nobody treat me like this in all my life. They say all that thing, and then 6 months later, they broke up. I thought that was the love of your life. You ain't have anybody to treat you like this. He washed your feet and opened the door for you.
It got real.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, look, I ain't putting all that, I get what Coach Belichick is doing. I get all that. And I get what BA is harsh in his assessment. For me, like I said, if I'm Tom Brady and I'm going into a new situation, Skip, I'm going to address with BA how to address me publicly before I even sign. Because I'm not used to this. I'm not used to.
Who would be?
I'm not used to
And
this.
is it possible that BA was actually trying to take a little focus on the fact his team overall was not prepared to play at New Orleans?
Skip.
See 9 penalties for 103.
Think about what he said about Donovan Smith. He said Donovan Smith was going against the worst of the pass rusher and had the worst game. I'm like, whoa.
Are you that good? Are you Bill Belichick? I don't know.
Skip, that's it.
Well, Bruce Arians is.
He said my defense played good enough for us to win, but we didn't get great QB play.
Oh,
that would be a say.
That's what he said.
Regardless of what you guys think about Tom Brady, 26 million people tuned in to watch America's Game of the Week.
They hate him so bad.
Since the Super Bowl, people want to know what the 43-year-old is going to do next. So we can't debate that one. Clippers and Nuggets are just hours away from playing Game 7, where the winner will go on to face LeBron and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers were up 3-1 before blowing double-digit leads in both Game 4 and Game 5 to lead to this winner-take-all matchup. Shannon, you're up first. Who wins and what is the score?
Maybe I'm picking with my head instead of my heart instead of my head, but I'm gonna take the Nuggets. I'm gonna say the Nuggets win 111-107. I think Yoke has a monster game again. I think Murray helps. They get a timely shot down the stretch, and they win 111-107.
You are picking with your head.
You think
That's
so?
a smart pick. I do not believe my Clippers will win this game. I'm picking them only because I picked them before the season started.
You got to ride out the storm.
Hang in. I got to ride out the storm, and it's going to be a storm tonight. The only way the Clippers will win this game is via blowout. They're going to have to come right out and take care of business and keep taking care of business for 4 quarters. 120-100 Kawhi.
Okay, so what Kawhi gonna have? What's Kawhi? Give me Kawhi's numbers.
Oh, he'll have a Bron game.
Oh, yeah, stop saying that.
It'll be a Bron game.
Stop doing that. Bron is efficient.
30, 14, and 8. How about that? Well, it's going to take that for them to win.
You see?
Huh?
Bron
He's
shot.
been doing it.
Bron shot 58% in the play right now.
Okay.
58.
And by the way, Kawhi will make 10 out of 10 free throws, unlike LeBron, who might make 6 out of 10 if you're lucky.
We sitting at home. We made enough free throws.
Yeah.
We sitting at home waiting on somebody.
I got it.
I was just thinking, LeBron's just sitting back.
Yeah, you're about to do all business. You know what he said? What do you got to do with this?
Casual.
You keep on
That
bringing
is
him
it for
up.
Undisputed. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning. Enjoy Game 7. Have a good day.